So today I want to talk about the Mahasiddhi Luipa, also known as the fish gut eater. Luipa's poem, rub honey on a wild dog's nose, and it madly devours whatever it sees. Give the Lama's secret to a worldly fool, and his mind and the lineage burn out. For a sensitive person who understands unborn reality, one glimpse of the Lama's vision of pure light destroys illusion like a mad elephant, rampaging through hostile ranks, wielding a sword in its trunk. So the story of Luipa goes like this. When the old king of Sri Lanka died, the court astrologers determined that for the well-being of the kingdom, only his second son could rule. But the young prince was loath to ascend the throne. He didn't want to ascend the throne. He didn't want to be king. He felt only disgust for all the pomp and luxury of the palace. Contempt filled his eyes when he gazed at the walls of the royal chamber, plated with gold and silver and studded with precious stones and jewels. All that he ever wanted was to become a yogi. And he made up his mind to escape. But alas, his face was known to all. Everybody recognized him. And the royal fugitive got no farther than the palace gardens. He was seized and bound in golden chains by his brothers and all the people of the palace. The following night, he bribed the guards with gold and silver, and disguised in rags, with only a single attendant, he made good his escape. Once they had journeyed some distance from the capital, he rewarded his faithful servant generously, and he set out to live his life as a yogi. The Yogi King was more than delighted to exchange his golden throne and palace for a deerskin mat and his royal silk bed for a pile of ashes. His beauty and charm made begging for his daily needs easy. His refinement and courtly manners inspired awe wherever he went. The yogi wandered through India until he reached Vajrasana, the holy place where the Buddha Shakyamuni had achieved enlightenment. There he became a devotee, a student of the Dakinis, who instructed him in the ways of feminine insight. Later, he journeyed to the royal city on the river Ganges, where he studied the teachings of Tantra. He lived on alms and slept on cremation grounds. One day, as he was begging in the bazaar, some inner sense told him to enter a tavern that also happened to be a brothel. It was his karmic destiny to meet one of the prostitutes there, who was actually a dakini. He recognized her once and paid her homage. The dakini gazed deeply into his mind for some time in utter silence. Then she said, "Your 4 psychic centers and their energies are quite pure. However, there is a knot of arrogance about the size of a pea in your heart." At this, she poured some putrid, rancid food into his clay bowl, his begging bowl, and sent him on his way. As the yogi left the brothel, he threw the inedible slop into the gutter. Disgusting food. Whereupon the dakini, who had been watching, called out mockingly, "How can a gourmet attain nirvana?" The yogi was mortified. Could it be that his critical, judgmental mind, educated in the refined atmosphere of the palace, was still subtly active? Was it possible that he still perceived some things as intrinsically more desirable than others? Such flaws would stand in the way of his progress towards Buddhahood. He decided then and there to destroy his prejudices and cleanse his thought patterns at their roots. For the next 12 years, he stayed on the banks of the Mother Ganga, begging his supper from fishermen who were cleaning their fish that they caught. All he would accept from them were the entrails they normally just tossed away to the dogs, a part of the fish they cleaned and didn't want to keep. Although the fishermen called him Luipa, which means the fish gut eater, to the royal yogi, his food was the nectar of pure awareness, through which he discovered that the nature of all substances is emptiness. Luipa became renowned far and wide for his deeds, mentioned in the legends of Darikapa. So that's the story of the fish gut eater. He lived a life of refined palate, likes and dislikes, of good and bad, pure and impure. But he realized that just stood in the way. And so giving up likes and dislikes, the story says, his food was the nectar of pure awareness. What does that mean to you? Do you nourish yourself with the nectar of pure awareness? And by doing so, Luipa discovered that the nature of all substances, good, bad, fragrant, foul, all his likes and dislikes, all substances, all the beautiful food he was getting, and even all the guts of the fish. The nature of all substances is emptiness. As we sit here in a thunderstorm in the rain, some days it's sunny and warm. Other days it's wet and thunderous. But the nature of the weather, the nature of the sky, the nature of our experience, the text says, of all substances is emptiness. If you've been able to discover and touch into that reality through the nectar of pure awareness,